Hi, I'm at the Property Investor Show, Excel Docklands, and just catching up with a few property buddies to find out what challenges they're facing in the property business right now and what are they doing about it, how are they mitigating those challenges. We publish new content every single week. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as soon as we upload, we'll notify you when we do. Enjoy. So what are the biggest challenges property investors are facing right now in your view?
Well, the private rental sector has doubled in the last 10 to 12 years.
Yes.
I think legislation, compliance, the introduction of HMOs, the laws that came in last October. I think the biggest challenge for landlords at the moment, most probably, is education.
Just to refresh people, what laws came in October?
So on the 1st of October, the laws of HMOs, House and Motorable Occupation, changed. They abolished the free floors.
Yeah.
It was 5 tenants from 2 separate households. It could be any type of property, and there's now a room requirement of at least 6 square metres. So they predict there could be 170,000 properties out there that need licensing.
A lot more properties need licensing.
A lot more properties need licenses. So the biggest struggle for landlords is keeping up to breast with what's happening.
So what's your tip then for overcoming these regulatory challenges? Is that professional management?
It's professional management, and it's taking the time for education. We have a website called Landlord Zone as well, which we're running. Yes. So keeping abreast of what's going on with the marketplace. Buy-to-let does work, it does pay. People need to sleep somewhere. But getting professional management and making sure they're accredited as a managing agent, because who wants to take a call from a tenant that's drunk at 4 in the morning, or that their boiler's broken down?
Who wants to take a call from anyone that's drunk at 4 in the morning?
Most probably. I've taken a few from you, mind you.
Oh, anyway. well, we have to cut that bit out. Okay. So what are the biggest challenges property investors are facing?
Well, my personal opinion is that residential buy-to-let is dead. I think there's just so many headwinds now with tax changes, political interference in the market and so on. So I think you've just got to look for somewhere else to put your money.
How should people overcome those challenges?
I think by looking at things like commercial property, where you can invest in things like care homes and hotels, where there's a lot of demand, there's big trends going on that you're investing into, rather than just copying everyone else in residential buy-to-let.
Okay, Paul Nicholson, award-winning developer. Congratulations on the Property Investors Award. I'm asking the same question to a lot of people here at the show. Biggest challenge you're facing right now as a developer?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is it's quite a saturated market right now, so the competition has gone right through the roof. A lot of people are trying to occupy this space.
Are you talking about competition to acquire the sites or competition to sell the sites at the end, or both?
Both, really. So we're looking at, in terms of acquiring sites, there's the popular towns and cities where people are investing, and the well-known hotspots. So we're trying to find areas in and around those areas that, doing a lot of due diligence, what could be the next commuter town into these busy cities with all the employment. So it's trying to, unlock hidden value and find beauty where others won't necessarily look. So to bring down our entry-level prices. So then the next bit is, because the property market is so saturated, is developing a great specification, but obviously also bearing in mind the end values that you're going to get, on your construction acquisition price.
So standing out in a cost-effective way in a saturated market.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Thanks very much,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Have a good
Thanks
show. Okay, David Tonks, Advocate Finance, winner of the Property Investor Awards Broker of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So from a finance perspective, what's the biggest challenge investors are facing right now?
I think at the moment the biggest challenge is valuations with the uncertainty of Brexit. And
are you seeing down valuations?
We are in a number of them. Some of them have been, for a normal house, normal flat, I think it's not too bad. I think it's more on the conversion side, so the HMO conversions.
Oh, I see.
The commercial conversions, because the valuers use this what called a residual value calculation. So I think sometimes they can be a little bit over conservative on those, and what we're seeing some down valuations on those projects, basically, yeah.
So what are your clients doing to mitigate those challenges?
Well, we're working with the clients to work on both a plan A and a plan B. So obviously if it comes to that valuation, does the deals work? But at the same time, we're saying before you spend your considerable amount of money, which on a conversion can be, £1,200–1,500.
Yes.
Let's work on a plan B, and if it's down valued by 10–15%, does it still work? How can we structure the deal so it still works? So there is If it comes to a plan A, great, we can go ahead. If it's plan B, you can still go ahead as well.
That's great. Thank you, David Tonks, Advocate Finance. Can you lend me a tenner?
Pardon?
Can you lend me a tenner?
Of course I can, yeah.
So, in your property management business, what's the biggest challenge you're facing now?
I think the biggest challenge in 2019 is actually regulation, increased regulation.
Well, there's tons of regulation, but how are you coping with it? How are you adapting? How are you changing?
It's keeping up with what the changes are and how it affects day-to-day systems. So you may find that you have to overhaul all of your existing systems just to ensure that you can manage them in an efficient way, taking into consideration the new regulations.
So people talk about systems. What does it actually mean on a day-to-day basis?
So to us, systems means the things that power your business, the technology that powers your business. So we invest a lot in creating software to help give us leverage so that we can do more with less. So that means that we can keep an audit of everything that goes on in the business and decide how we want things to be done through the use of the software.
An audit, of course, is important to make sure you comply with all the regulations.
It's not just to comply, it's also to keep a good track record and to act as evidence. So if you do ever get caught out, you can show a trail of information that shows you took the necessary measures, the correct measures, even if it led to the situation.
And how many properties does your company manage?
Just over 500.
Just over 500, so he knows one or two things about systems. So Mike Doyle, you're one of the show organisers. The Property Investor Show now has been going for 18 years.
18 years, yes.
Every year the challenges change. What are the challenges people are facing today, as you said?
The feedback that we're getting from visitors, not necessarily so much challenge. I think there's a fair degree of uncertainty. People, going back a number of years, straightforward, residential, buy-to-let, we went through a number of years of fairly standard fare. Nowadays people are coming in, they're not quite sure whether or not to stay in traditional buy-to-let. Is buying off plan still a good idea? Should we be moving towards development? Should we be abandoning resi altogether and thinking more about commercial? There's a whole host of issues, but I'd say there's an awful lot of uncertainty as well.
But as show organisers, you took that uncertainty head on, didn't you?
We
You
did.
scheduled this show.
We did.
Slap bang in the middle of what was meant to be Brexit time.
That was slightly more of an accident. The shows are booked around about 18 months in advance. Had we known that the proposed date of Britain leaving the European Union was the 29th of March at that time, we'd have probably tried to pick a slightly different date. Having said that, it seems to have had very little impact on the show. We've had a very busy time, over 120 visitors here, around about 5,500 visitors at the event, 120 exhibitors rather.
Do you feel that people are just getting a bit bored with this constant Brexit uncertainty and just getting on with it?
I think it's more the latter. I think people are taking the view that irrespective of what happens as far as Brexit's concerned, if they still have businesses to run and aspirations to fulfil, they still need to be taking action. They can't put their lives on hold indefinitely, waiting for a group of politicians to resolve the Brexit issue.
And hopefully, sooner or later, they will. So that's all coming up.